Hey, what's up guys? Jay back with another action figure review. But before we start, if you like your reviews unbiased and real, please hit that subscribe button and check out our other videos on the channel because that is what we do. And also, big shout out to the Action Figure Geek subreddit, a really good community, cool moderators and everyone on there, just a great community for collectors. Now, today we are looking at wave 1 of the Jada Toys Scooby Doo line, and this is a line I have been looking forward to. Jada has been killing it with every license that they get their hands on, and I'm very happy to see them do something like Scooby Doo because it just opens the door for them to do other old school cartoons, maybe the Jetsons or whatever. But I was able to get my hands on all three of these together, and in this wave 1 you get Shaggy, you get the Creeper, and you get the Mummy of Anka. You know, it is crazy we don't get Scooby Doo, the dog, in this, but he will be in wave 2. Jumping into the packaging. So for this line, Jada once again is doing some really creative packaging. I like how much attention to detail they put into all of these displays, and all of these look really good. The front has the character standing in front of this kind of like fog that's on the plastic, and then the back has a photo of the figure posing, and on Shaggy's box here we see an image of him, an animated image, and I would say that this figure closely resembles this image, not so much for the other two, but we'll look into that. All the graphics on this are really good. I think it's smart to make the back of your packaging just as interesting as the front, and Jada has been just doing a really good job at that. They are kings of that. So for a property like Scooby Doo, there's just so many colors and like themes and characters that you could put on the box to grab the eye, and they did that here. They really did that. So looking here over Shaggy's head on the top left, you have the Scooby Doo logo. Very colorful, looking cool. Then next to that on the right you kind of get a silhouette of a graveyard, very creepy, and I love this animation. On the side animation here, it looks like a remastered version of the original cartoon. And then we get Shaggy here in the front. There he is looking through the window, very nice. Yeah, and I gotta say this one is the one I am most looking forward to opening out of all three. Then we have the Creeper, similar packaging, almost identical, but of course his box has images of the Creeper, him. Yeah, so we see his remastered image on the side here, and it's good, it's cool, but I think this is the image that least looks like the toy, to be honest. And I know everyone doesn't care about that. Some people don't. It's not something people care about. I don't care about it really, but I see a lot of people do. And yeah, so this image here on the side of the box is just a little bit more cartoony looking, I guess. Yeah, but it's cool. And then on the back here you got the Creeper posing, and yeah, man, this figure is a big figure, but it does a lot of cool poses. The articulation looks like it's going to be really good. Interesting thing about the original Scooby-Doo cartoon, all the bad guys are really not monsters. They're just disgruntled, angry old people in costumes. And I like how Jada is reflecting that here by having all the villains come with their unmasked head sculpt. That's a really good idea. And the glasses on the unmasked Creeper sculpt I think are removable, and that's cool. So we'll look into that later. But then there's the Mummy. Through the window here you see he also has an unmasked sculpt, and this figure definitely has the most basic design of all three, but I think it's going to be the most fun to pose. And like the other two, his packaging's just pretty good, pretty basic, but it still looks good. It's the same design, of course, but we have images of the Mummy all over. And speaking of which, I know I mentioned earlier the cartoons on the side. So if you look here on the side of the Mummy's box, I don't know who this is or what that is, but that is not this Mummy. That looks like a marshmallow man. And I don't think the figure itself, any of these figures look exactly how their cartoon counterpart looks, but they look as close enough, as close as you can probably get them. But yeah, there really isn't much to say specifically about the Mummy's packaging. Again, that side, oh my god, that side cartoon, I don't know what that is. But at the bottom right, if you look, I just noticed you do get an image of the entire gang hanging out in the mystery machine. And as I said, Scoob's going to be in wave 2, and then I think Daphne is going to be the leader of wave 3. So it's going to be a while before you get all 5 members plus the mystery machine if they do that. But here they are out of the box. These look really good. As I said, I don't think you could get them much closer. They almost look like you ripped them right out of the TV. They look really good, and as you can see, they don't have a lot of accessories. But Shaggy does have a box of Scooby snacks, and that's all that matters. Overall, great packaging, nothing less than expected from Jada. As usual, great packaging. Now let's go ahead and get these guys out of the plastic. So I am very impressed, very impressed. I got to play around with all three of these for a while, and the articulation on each is so different and so unique. It's like they're from three different lines, but that's good because they're such different figures, and it shows you how talented Jada is at doing this. Let's start with Shaggy. Luckily, in the original run of this cartoon that of course these toys are based off of, all the characters were the same exact outfits all the time. So Shaggy has his classic Shaggy look here that you can spot from a mile away. His green shirt with the maroon pants that, if I'm not mistaken, is sometimes they present them as brown, right? I don't know. But black shoes, and Jada made this toy basically a stick figure. Just like the cartoon, Shaggy is just skin and bones, but it's cool because that's what we want, right? As collectors, you want your figures to look as close to the actual character as possible, and they did that. So looking closer at his head sculpt, it resembles Shaggy very, very well. I like it a lot. The face sculpt is perfect. I wouldn't change anything. And this is his smiley face. The other one I like better. But really, look at this little loose hair. Soft plastic. Very nice touch. No weight to this. No weight. It's pretty light. Getting into the articulation. Wow, man. I know you see this. I know y'all see that neck. What a neck. Yeah, that's something. He can really look up and down with a neck like this. Pretty well. He can look down this much. And this is going to be good when we get Scooby, because Shaggy can look directly down at him, and I'm sure Scooby's figure will be able to look up as well. So that's pretty impressive. And then you could be giving him a Scooby snack or something. So that's cool. He can do that. And he can look way up, like he can tilt his head all the way back thanks to his neck. Very cool. And this hand is meant to clutch. Look at that. Double jointed elbow. Very cool. This hand is meant to clutch one single Scooby snack. The arms are just so skinny. These are some skinny arms. As I said, I don't know if I mentioned, but he has a double jointed elbow there. And they don't feel weak or anything. They feel sturdy. They feel good. They don't feel fragile. And you can see here, Jada chose to split the shirt here, which is where they put the joint for the articulation for his like spinning around and all that. And I think that works if you have a character that has a really, really long shirt or a long tee, and it would limit the articulation and put it at the waist. So that allows him to spin all the way around, as you see. And then soft plastic on the shirt. He has a double jointed knee, and his leg goes all the way back. Very good, very good. He can bend the leg back about this much. And then of course you don't get much of an ab crunch, surprisingly. I'm surprised that his ab crunch is not a little bit better. He cannot really touch his knee with his face, but I guess it's because he's such a lanky character. You know, I'm not really surprised, I guess. Looking closer at his feet, his foot does not have a toe hinge at all, but it can swivel back and forth about this much. And then of course spins all the way around. And as you see already, he can do the splits very easily. It's nothing. Yeah, this is a very flexible, very durable figure. Yeah, I wouldn't mind throwing this around. And this is one of those, you can give it to a young kid and they probably couldn't break it very easily. You get a full thigh swivel. And you guys, you got to take a closer look at the peg on this neck, man. Like, it's something else. I'm not going to say anything, really. I don't have to say a lot. But this has got to be one of the craziest pegs I've seen in my life. But yeah, but Shaggy's head just snaps back on pretty easily. Pretty good, man. And there's Shaggy. That's him. And I gotta say, I really love this figure, man. Shaggy was one of my favorite characters growing up as a kid in general, him and Scooby. And I think this is the coolest action figure of him that you can get right now. Scooby toys are normally aimed strictly towards children, I think. So these do feel a little bit more mature, you know, more mature. And so you can do whatever you want with them, man. You can pose him and do some crazy things, anything that you need him to do. And his scared face, which we'll look at a little later, looks even better. But moving on to the Creeper. You know, I always thought the Creeper just looked kind of like a cross between Frankenstein and then one of the Beatles. Like, they must have based this character design off of the Beatles, right? Like, they were still popping when this show aired. So, but yeah, this figure kind of has a more short and stocky build. I really like the green on green and his brown bowl cut. Very cool. They really did a good job sculpting this one. It's a very unorthodox, kind of awkward shape, but it looks good. And looking at his face, very pale, very awestruck. He looks confused, but it looks good though. I like it. Face, it's a very good face sculpt. And this pale shade of green that they've painted it, I kind of like it. And I kind of wish they gave me two monster heads instead of just one with these, but it's cool. Damn, there's a lot of discolored hinges on this too. I don't like that. As you see, it's different shades. Very soft plastic here on his jacket, so I'm sure that helps with the articulation, so that's cool. He has his little black undershirt, but remember, these things were designed in the 60s, so not gonna have the most up-to-date modern designs. As you can see, the neck looks up and down really well, could spin around. He has a double jointed elbow, and in general, the articulation on his arm is just crazy. Like, look at that. That is insane. That is insane. And his hands are very good size. They're not small like Shaggy's. They tilt and spin. Yeah, that joint in his arm, this joint in his arm, it just feels real sturdy. Kind of sucks it's not like a butterfly kind of joint, but it feels good. Wait, is this a butterfly? I don't know. Feels good. And out of all three, I think this figure is the heaviest and feels the most throwable. I'd say, like, durable and throwable. And yeah, look at that elbow. Look at the discoloring on the elbow there. Sucks. Believe it or not, he can spin all the way around at the waist with no problem, very easily. If you really, really want him to, he could even do the splits here all the way, kind of. Like, damn, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And if you look under here, like under his garments, you could stretch his arms all the way out. If you look here under his undergarments here, he's kind of just engineered like a regular slim figure. It's the upper body, his upper body, that makes him really bulky. You get full thigh swivel, also double jointed knee. And then this boot here is just kind of similar to Shaggy's, it's just a little bit bigger. Same kind of articulation, swivels all the way around, goes up and down, goes everywhere you need it to go. Very cool figure, man. Like I said, I just really don't like those knees and his elbows and all the discoloring. It's just crazy. I just don't like that. Keep it the same green. I think from afar he's good. Overall, he's really good. Overall, he's very good. From afar, he looks better. When you get close, you kind of start to notice all these blemishes and the discoloring. Ugh, just not cool. I don't like that. But not bad. Probably most impressed with the articulation on this one. But of the three, he's going to be my least favorite, I think. Definitely my least favorite. But he is the most unique looking. I'll give him that. He looks the most unique. And he's the only one of all three I would probably just buy by itself if I had to. It kind of even feels weird having Shaggy without Scooby. So I do give credit to this one. It's not my favorite, but it's cool. So yeah, last but not least, let's talk about the Mummy. I think this one, it looks really basic. If you didn't know this was the Scooby Doo Mummy, you would probably just think it was some generic mummy figure you got from like the toy store for background stuff, you know, but it's not. I think when you look closely, you get some really unique stuff. It's quite interesting. I think there's a black wash. You can't really see it on camera, but it does have this grungy, old kind of used mummy, used bandages look to the paint, and that makes it look more realistic. I think there's a lot of details that stick out here that make it unique. As I said, the wrapping is cool, and then he makes this kind of sad or depressed mummy expression on his face. That's cool. Then he has some red sunk-in eyes, these beady red eyes that you can see if you look closely. And if you notice, he has these flaps kind of sticking out all over him. There's one on his head wrap as well, and then his leg. It's soft plastic that they added to simulate the wrapping coming undone, and it's so cool. I think that's really great, really creative. They could have chose to just make it painted or like molded to the figure, but it's a nice detail. And things like that are just stuff that I think Jada's really good at. My right leg on him is kind of loose. If you see, like, it's kind of like weak. It's kind of dead, like he has a dead leg. As far as articulation, he can look down this much and he can look up about this much. And this figure, it feels really sturdy as well, surprisingly. We may have the best ab crunch of all three of these figures. Like, look at this. Like, look how close he can get to his knees. And he can wrap his arms around his legs. Like, that's some Spider-Man activity, bro. Right there. Very impressive. Very impressive. Just like the other two, he has double jointed elbows. You take a look. Very crazy. Like, he's like a snake. And look how far back this arm can go. Double jointed knee as well. And then that leg, this leg can go all the way back, literally touching his back. Very cool. He's like a pretzel. Kind of similar to Dalsim, also from Jada Toys on the Street Fighter line. I really like this one a lot, man. I really do. Then he has a joint at the waist that allows him to kind of swivel all over the place, all around. Very flexible. He can go way back. And all of this movement is seamless. really seamless and just feels completely easy to do. He's got a butterfly joint, also very seamless, kind of just goes back and forth really easily. His hands look like mittens, but they spin around. They're not too small. They spin around. You're not gonna be able to like grip anything with those hands at all. You get full thigh swivel all the way around. And the feet are good. They're kind of small, which makes it awkward to stand them up sometimes, but good articulation on them. They move around pretty easily. And yeah, he could just go like all over the place, bro. Like all over. Like I can't even get him straight almost because he's so slinky. And yeah, this is pretty cool. Shaggy looks better because he is Shaggy, and that's just the way it is. But the engineering on this one, I think, is the best of all three. And it's good because he looks generic. He can just vibe and fit into any of your sets, any of your displays, and he'll fit perfectly. And of course, it's always good to have a mummy. The more monsters, the better. Yeah, this one's definitely going to be my second favorite next to Shaggy. Moving on to the accessories. Really not many accessories, to be honest, not many, but these guys all come with a little something, and we're gonna take a look at them. So first we'll start with the mummy. He has an unmasked head and a wrap effect, I guess you can call it, or an accessory. The creeper has his unmasked head and then his stretched out mask effect, and Shaggy of course has an alternate head, a box of Scooby snacks, and a loose Scooby snack. And man, I hope Jada releases like a box of just straight Scooby Doo accessories once we get the whole line. And so here's a closer look at Shaggy's alternate head. And again, at the top here, we have the loose, soft plastic hair. Very nice. This one looks scared. It's like a frantic, frightened face. And that's a very popular Shaggy face. We got some alternate open hands. Nothing special, just regular old open hands. And then we have the Holy Grail, the box of Scooby snacks, sculpted perfectly. I really like this red font that they got on the front here. And of course, you can use this with any of your toys or figures. Looking at this, I wonder if Scooby's figure that they come out with will have his own box of Scooby snacks. He has to, right? Like, and if so, I wonder if it's going to be identical to this or different in any way. Very interesting, yeah. But I like this a lot. A good addition to your collection of accessories. And then you got this little single Scooby snack, which I've almost lost about at least 3 times. So yeah, be careful. This thing is tiny. It goes in the box if it has to, but it's not like a magnet, so it's not gonna stay. So yeah. The creeper just has his unmasked face and mask, but like I mentioned earlier, his face has removable glasses, and I think that is really cool. His face sculpt is kind of caught in this caught look, or this like regret look, this I wish I didn't do this look, and I think that's pretty cool. Really good for photography. So there you go, and you take the glasses off, and then he's got those beady eyes, and they don't click on. You kind of got to just put them on the side. We got an alternate pair of green hands that are kind of pointing, I guess. I can't really tell, but yeah, they're different. Then we have the craziest piece, this mask being pulled off his face, like an effect piece, I guess. I'll show you how exactly this fits on his head in a little. I think this is really cool. You'll have to use it with him being posed with someone, though. And then the mummy, who basically has a similar accessory setup as the creeper, alternate hands, an unmasked head. In effect, this unmasked head looks pretty cool. It's sculpted and painted very well. He's got a little mustache. I think that's funny. And then, of course, he's got these mitten hands, right? They look like mittens, but they're fists. So you can use these to like do fighting poses with him, and that's cool as well. Then the most interesting piece he has, the half wrap of his mummy garment. So you strap this to his chin, and you make it look like either he's unmasking himself or someone else is unmasking him. Very cool accessory, similar to the creeper stretchy thing. So as I said, here you go. You take the bottom of it, and you make sure it touches the chin. It doesn't really click, but the idea is just to get it on and then reattach the head to the peg like this. That way it'll stay. You click the head in, and then you see it stays on, and it looks pretty cool. You can bend it around and just wrap it in different ways, have Shaggy pulling it off of him or having one of the gang. And then Mr. Creeper here, you just take off these glasses. I don't know if the glasses have to stay off to attach this piece, but I found it a lot easier to do it with the glasses off. So you wedge the top of his dome into this piece here, and it doesn't fit perfect, but it does fit, and then it kind of stays. It looks a little silly, but when you have someone pulling it off, it looks better. Then Shaggy, fitting this teeny tiny little Scooby snack between his thumb and index finger. Not hard really, but it may take a couple tries, but then it does stay. It's kind of like sturdy, it grips. You could even have him look like he's eating it. It's very cool. Or if he's in a jam, you could have him offer it up for his freedom. Yeah, real quick. Let's take a look at some height comparisons so that you guys can get an idea of how tall these things are compared to other figures. Here they are with Alistair Gangrene and the Green Goblin, with Chester Cheetah and Pam Voorhees. Then with DJ from Street Fighter and Mezco's Tangerine. Also from Mezco, we have Leatherface and we have Michael Myers. So yeah, man, these are just fun figures to have. They're really fun. You could do a lot with them. There's enough articulation here to do some really good poses. They fit in well with other figures from other lines or from Jada. And who doesn't love Scooby Doo, right? So as I said, going into this, it's probably going to be well over a year before we get the rest of this gang. So just be prepared for that. I give Shaggy a 5 out of 5. Jada did a perfect job here. Creeper, 4 out of 5 for me. Those joints are just a little too discolored. I don't like that. Yeah, I just don't like that. But overall, he's okay. I'm not going to say he's bad. He's okay. And then the Mummy, that's a 5 out of 5 as well. If this came with any other 2 characters, he would probably be my favorite in the wave. But, he comes with Shaggy, so no. But he's good. 5 out of 5 for the Mummy. And so go ahead and pick up all 3 of these guys if you can. They're available everywhere now, even on Amazon, I believe. And I think they're like $40 a piece. Not bad. If you're a Scooby Doo fan, you gotta go get them. Please follow us on socials, guys. Please. And subscribe to the channel for anything you want to see a review of that is real and unbiased. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about this Wave 1 from Jada Toys of Scooby Doo. And then please check out these photographs that we did. Peace out.